You dug for dust and heat, watched the rig lights blur. Coins came slow through stone, and the bills came first to hurt. But I found a different road, where the Lord can pay its way. Stack the cards, set them free, let the uptime earn the day. GPU autopilot on, turn the idle into gold. Every slot stays moving, every cycle stays sold. And I hear the numbers climb when the airflow starts to sing. What was sunk in mining pain comes back like everything. Rent the cars, let them run, profit climbs one by one. GPU rental here to stay, mining's long and fading away. Rent the cars, let them run, make it move, make it hum. GPU rental line by line, better margins every time. Red Panda Mining said, watch the old game bend. When the market turns the wheel, you need a smarter end. No more praying to the pool, no more waiting on a block. Let the clients book the hours, let the ledger tick and talk. And the trolls in the vast Discord talk their noise all night, but the receipts keep talking, and the math looks right. You can laugh at every doubt, let them shout into the dark. I'd rather roam the steady stream than chase one lucky spark. Rent the cars, let them run, profit climbs one by one. GPU rental here to stay, mining's long and fading away. Rent the cars, let them run, make it move, make it hum. GPU rental line by line, better margins every time. When the hashes fall to silence, I don't miss the race. I see tenants fill the calendar, I see green in every space. From the rack to the return, that's the song I choose. Not a gamble on a miracle, just a business that can you grow. Rent the cars, let them run, profit climbs one by one. GPU rental here to stay, mining's long and fading away. Rent the cars, let them run, make it move, make it hum. GPU rental line by line, better margins every time. Cars, let them run, profit climbs one by one. GPU rental here to stay, mining's long and fading away. You dug for dust and heat, watched the rig lights blur. Coins came slow through stone, and the bills came first to hurt. But I found a different road, where the Lord can pay its way. Stack the cards, set them free.
There we go. Was not going to forget to unmute. How you guys doing tonight? I really like those songs. Anyway, not because I made them. I don't know. They always get my blood going. That is for sure. Good evening, gentlemen. Appreciate you guys being here. I don't know if I'm going to have any guests tonight. Might have one. He's not responded. He talked about possibly coming tonight. Anyway, but it has been a very good week. Yes, please smash that like. Appreciate the 20 people that are here currently. Let's see who is checked in. We have Squirrel Masters, Mr. Peaceful One, and Nabel, the one and only, the one I love to bug. Black Hat Team, Northern Crypto and Tech. And that's everybody who's checked in right now. Yeah, I know. I put that picture of Painted on there and I knew everybody was going to click that, but I actually wanted to know like what people would actually, if you guys had any other suggestions on what to put up in this space, because I will be both doing videos. Well, I didn't get a video out this week. Could make excuses, but I just got lazy the last 2 days, and there's just been a lot of distractions because it's been fun watching the market and trying to figure out like, okay, well, what should I put this at? And hopefully somebody will fall off. But today was exciting, was very exciting because a whole bunch of things like fell off. Like all of a sudden I had all these rigs that didn't have anybody on them, or I had already noticed that somebody had fallen off and somebody else had picked them back up at a much higher price. So I got what I've talked about with other people. I got greedy. I put things up in the stratosphere, and honestly, nobody was picking them up. I'll get into that in just a second. So finally started bringing them down. So right now I only have 2 cards that are not rented. I have one 5060 Ti that's not rented, and I have one the RTX Pro 5000 is currently not rented, which is okay. Because yes, it is mining Pearl, and it's very efficient at that. It's only 300 watts and does 180 terahash. So that's very efficient. So that's good. And then I have the other one also mining Pearl, but I actually mined over 50 Pearl today. So I made about as much as I did yesterday on Vast, but I also made 50 Pearl, which was like an extra $20 to $25, like $22, something like that is what it comes out to be. So it's been a good day. I think it could have been a little bit better if I hadn't been so greedy and trying to get like crazy. People were sending me all kinds of stuff today. One person sent, and I won't put it on screen, a 4x4090 rig. $3 an hour per GPU. It was making $12 an hour. That's crazy. A 4090, not even a 5090, a 4090. And I do not see that person having come in here yet, but I'll let that person decide whether or not they want to volunteer if that's them. And I know other people have everybody talks about like their biggest, like what's the one that they're making the most money on. Everybody talks about that. It's like, okay, fine, but how many do you have that are unrented right now? When you ask that question, that's when things get a little bit more interesting, because yeah, great. You have somebody who may be rented on a 5090 at 85 cents, but how many 5090s do you have sitting there that aren't rented at 85 cents? So, and then how long until that person falls off? And that's what I keep hearing from people that say, I'm rented at this. And then 45 minutes later, the person comes back going, yeah, they're gone. Yeah, because they're not going to want to do that for that long a period of time. So it's always a balancing act, kind of a trial and error to see. You want to get those long-term clients so that you don't have to worry about utilization. But anyway, exciting times, very exciting times. It has been just crazy. Absolutely crazy. All right, let's see who else has popped into the chat. We have KShot 9000. What's up? 79 cents to 89 cents per hour. Nice. Skyfox, hello to you too. And Learjet Monaco. I'm waiting for the renter to fall off the 5090 at 22 cents. It's funny you mentioned that. So that was the other thing I was going to bring up. So I've proven it yet again. You do not have to have 50 cent. You do not have to have 500 megabits upload. I have 300, and yet again, I got something verified. It took 66 days to get verified. I was 99.72% reliability. So I had really good reliability. I think at a certain point, they start lowering the bar on bandwidth when your reliability is really high. That's the only explanation I can have, because it seems to be somewhat repetitive that other people, when they get to 90% and they meet every other criteria, boom, they're verified for the most part. But for me, it takes 2, 3, 4 months for me to get verified. So right now I only have one more rig, and that's my newest one. That's the one right behind me. Only one more rig that is not verified yet. So yeah, so I'm not really worried about the fact that that is not rented, because it can't get verified when it's rented on demand or reserved, because they can't get in and test it. So it works that it is currently mining until it gets verified. Once it gets verified, it'll be a lot easier to rent that thing. I definitely have thought about moving one of the 5090s off and taking that machine ID and putting it on that guy, but I think, and the other challenge I have with that one is it's a VM. And they know it's a VM because it looks different on the dashboard. It doesn't actually show the motherboard, or what does it actually show? Let's see, where is it? Yeah, under the drive, not the motherboard. Under the drive, actually under motherboard, it just says motherboard. And then under drive, it says QEMU. So they know that that is a VM. And I don't think that is as attractive, shall we say, to Vast to have that. So anyway, and I don't know if this will amount to anything, but right before I came on, I was looking over my work email, at home work email, and I won't say who it was because I haven't even talked to him yet, but I did get an email from a company saying, hey, we are looking for supply. Would you be interested? Would it be worth a 20-minute conversation? And I'm like, heck yeah. So we'll see where that goes. Like I said, it was literally one email. It actually came from the company's name.com, and I looked up the website. The website's valid, so it does not appear that it is a scam or anything. I had never heard of this specific company, but anyway, it'll be worth a conversation. I'll be curious to see where that goes. Can Pearl mine on an X1 riser? I think it can. I'm going to try to put like 7 cards in an Octominer, hopefully this weekend. But we will see. We will see. Max Voltage, why don't you PCIe pass through a drive to use for Vast VM so it has a real drive shown? I could do that. But I only have one drive. I have 2 drives in there, and they are RAID, or mirrored, I guess is a better way of putting it, because it's unRAID. It's ZFS basically is what it's running. So they're mirrored, and so yeah, I would have to basically figure out a place to put 2 more, but I've got an HBA card in there, so I don't really have anywhere else to put any more NVMe drives because I've used up all the PCIe slots on this, and like I said, I've used up the 2 that are on the motherboard, so that's my reason. But good question. That's a real good question. I mean, obviously, I could have not done the mirror and had the one be the boot drive basically, and then had the second drive be the PCIe pass-through. So I definitely could have done that, but I didn't. I thought the redundancy would be a Nice. All right, let me check on some questions. Let's see. Even idle mining Pearl, I'm cashing out 200 a day. 200 Pearl or $200 a day? Or do you mean $200 with Vast? Is what you're cashing out even with background mining Pearl? Because I'm cashing out like almost 220. I was at 218.55, and yesterday I was 219 something, and then I mined over 50 Pearl today. And today's not done. So yeah. Yeah, time to set up some Pearl rigs. Yeah. I mean, I will tell you that it's not a secret anymore because it went from 6-7 exahash, and last time I checked, it was at 14. So it's more than doubled in hash rate. So yeah, other people are doing it as well. So unless we see some additional price appreciation, yeah, I would expect to kind of see some of this kind of fall off a bit. Let's see. First time 13. Good to see you. Who won the L9? I know who won the first L9, and that was Ontario Miner or Ontario Mining. Anyway, Ontario's guy. We all know and love him. He won the first L9. I don't remember who the second L9 was because I was too busy trying to make a joke that most people didn't see, which was unfortunate. I decided, wouldn't it be funny to actually like become a member like right after the last spin was done and say and have the membership show up, and then right after that say, am I too late? But I think only one person got the joke. I at least appreciated one person got it. My Pro 5000 did not get verified. That's the one I have left to get verified. Oh, okay, never mind. I just answered. Okay. Yeah, so again, I think Pearl can be mined on an X1 riser. They're not really, first of all, the only ones that I understand that can do the proof of useful work is an H100 and H200. That's my understanding, and I'm not saying that that's absolutely true. It's what the white paper says. But I don't know, like, when they kind of figured out how to mine this, that if that also meant that they figured out a way that they could do the proof of useful work on these others. So I don't know. I don't know. But hey, anybody who tries it, let me know. Oh, there we go. Squirrel Master says, I'm mining right now on X1 risers. So appreciate you giving that answer. Learjet Monaco says, I have an Intel 3570K, 32 gig DDR3, GTX 3070, be verified in less than, are you asking, will it be verified in less than 24 hours? My DDR3? At 3570. Wow, I never even thought. Interesting. You said you're running an i7 3770 CPU and 8 gig of DDR3. Oh, you're talking about for Pearl, not for. I pretty much thought that DDR4 was the minimum for Vast, so, or any of the rental programs for that matter. K-Shot, US dollars, baby. 6 rigs of 4 of them. 6 rigs of 4 of them. So basically you have 24 5090s making 200 a day. Nice. Very nice. Jason D, that's right. Jason D was the one that won the other one. Thank you. 306 miner, good to see you, sir. Welcome, my AI secondhand miners. Yeah, that's pretty much what we are. You know, it's all about monetizing your hardware. You know, while we all got involved in this, or most of us, I think, got involved in this with mining to start. I know I got into it for monetizing hardware. I love the technology. Everybody's like, well, I got into it because of the technology. That attracted me, but it was the combination of both of them. When I first got started, it was like, hey, let's throw something on there. Let's have a little bit of fun with it. So it was the technology that got me involved. We were doing it on a 1660 Ti, doing Zcoin, which is now, I'm drawing a blank. Anyway, it turned into a different coin. I'm sure somebody will speak up here. But yeah, I got involved with that, and then September of 2020, I decided time to really get involved in this. It looks like it's going to make some money, and that's when I got into it. So yeah, it's in it for the tech, geek of all trades. Yes, yes. And actually, if anybody can say that, he can. He can. I've had multiple conversations with Geek of All Trades, and I would say if anybody can make a case for why they are in this space, it's for the tech. He's definitely in it for the tech. Red Fox Crypto is here. Welcome. Appreciate you being here. Hobbyist is here. Well, geez, if you're going to be here, I got all this space up here, like empty. Firo, thank you. I should have known. If I say this and Red Fox is here, he is going to know immediately. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, Red Fox, you were mining Zcoin back in the day as well. I think you actually were in this space 2017, if I remember correctly. I didn't get in until 2019. 306 miner. I love money. I don't necessarily love money, but it helps. It helps make things easier. That's for sure. And as I've said before, this bull run of AI GPU rental could not have come at a better time for me. Absolutely could not have come at a better time. All right, hold on a second. I'm missing out on a few things. Running a few dual cards. CMP cards are crap for hash rate. Learjet Monaco has been verified. Not sure which you're speaking about, a rig verified or if something else. I see what you're saying. The thing you were just talking about, that rig has been verified. Wow. That's amazing. And Scroll Masters, that is in your mining rig. Got it. Sell it all. Go big. Go big or go home. Man, I was looking at 3060s, 3060 Ti's, and they're definitely going up in value. That is for sure. Everything appears to be going up in price. So yeah, if you're on the selling side of things, yeah. K-Shot 9000, I used to miss ETH mining. I don't miss it right now at all. This is so much fun for me. All right, I'm starting to get caught up a little bit. 306 miner. My profits are up like 40% on Vast right now. Technically, since January, I have more than doubled what I was making in January. So yeah, it's good. It's good. Yeah, it's a fucking out. I do miss that from Saturday nights when Jump would play that clip. That was always funny. Dude Tariq at Okta had me turn on my old 1660 Supers. Really? Well, it's funny you mentioned that because right back here, I've got a Strix 1660 Ti that I was planning on putting in the Octo miner as well. Get everything I've got running. Whether it's got fans working or not. Get that airflow going through that Octo miner. Hopefully the fans all work. I got two of them so I can, use parts from one to go into the other one. Yep, 2017. Okay, God help me. Yeah, especially considering you're kind of still in the space. You're actually still doing some mining. K-Shots has told him I'd have to get my duster out, clean the cards. LOL. Yeah. Let's see. Discord. All other 4090s at $1 per hour, 5090s at $2 per hour, 100% rented. Now, he has much better bandwidth. I tried to get near his rates. Wasn't happening. I was getting nothing, not even a sniff at it. And I had it there for most of the day. Now, if I have somebody fall off on Monday, because Mondays into Tuesdays is when usually the market starts to pick back up. Things seem to fall off over the weekend. So I'm kind of curious, but I have a feeling that unless we start seeing a price pump in Pearl, that if supply keeps going up, we could see prices come back down a little bit. 306 minor, 1660s, supers, and 1660 Ti's, all on Vast. How much are they making on Vast? Can't imagine they're making more than like 2 cents, 3 cents, something like that. K-Shot, mine are up 250%. Yeah, I mean, mine, I think tomorrow, now that I had a bunch of stuff that was long-term rentals, and I was like, they're never going to fall off. Well, they did today. So now I've got a bunch that are a much higher, like double what they were, way more than double than what they were at. So tomorrow is going to be a much better day. I haven't like added it up, but yeah, I'm going to go from like $100 a day, and I expect tomorrow will probably be close to 250. So right in that 250% increase. Let's see. Well, I guess actually that's 150%. I can math. Let's see. How are your CMP 100 210s on Pearl? Thinking about firing up a few X12s. Well, that's like I said, I'm going to fire up an X12 hopefully this weekend. Within the week, I'll definitely do it. Supers are rented at 10 cents a card per hour. That's crazy. 1660 supers? That's nuts. Nice. That's great, Goat. That's great. You should definitely add that. They do about 10 terahash. Yeah, I've like got 5060 Ti at 70 terahash, and the RTX Pro 5000 at 180 terahash right now. Does Vast work well with the Octominers? I've got 2 rigs full of 3070s, 3080s. Fire them up and find out, I think. I know you sent me a screenshot earlier. You sent me another one? Yeah, I guess you did. God, that's insane. Oh, okay. You sent me a screenshot that. Oh, I guess you did that to the other one too. Now, what's interesting is in the 2 screenshots, one of them you left the host, not the host ID, but the actual machine ID on there. I don't know if you wanted that on there. But anyway, what he's showing, he's at 99.963. That's incredible reliability. Best one I have is at 99.93. And to go from 99.93 to 99.96 probably would take a couple of months at least in order to get there. So that's incredible reliability. But yeah, $3 per 4090. That's insane. He is making on that rig 4 4090s, making almost $100 a day. 96.6. Wow. So we know what is possible, I guess. Squirrel Masters couldn't get that. That sounds like a personal problem. Not even gonna say that because somebody's gonna like clip it. Couldn't get the 170HXs to work either. Interesting. Have it working on V100s, basically same card but X1 PCIe. Interesting. I mean, V100s you can actually put on Vast too. They actually don't. You might be able to get a good job on it, I guess. And yes, per hour. Nice. Just scrolling down. Yes, AlphaMine has a good pool for Pearl. If you have not seen the stream from Tuesday, I mean, we both had so much fun recording that. it you can criticize me or send me a message saying, why did you make me watch that? That was crap. Let me know. Because I don't know. I had a lot of fun recording that. And yeah, if you haven't had a chance to watch it, highly suggest it. There's a lot of good information in there. But yes, AlphaMine has a good pool for Perl. And his website, I'll put it in chat. These are not referral. This is just one community member to another, because he puts in a lot of work. Are you going to show up or not? Or do I need to put it in over here? There it goes. Yeah, he puts in a lot of good work. So I'm using his pool. Let me see if I refresh this. How much have I additional do I have? I guess I got another 4 Perl. So total that I have mined is 90. I'm up to 90. So that was the other one I wanted to put up here. Let me end this poll. The one person that put in other, did you put in your answer in chat? I want to know what you want me to put in this space. Just curious. All right, well, I'm going to end that poll. And then, oh man, I just lost track of what I was going to put up here. Shoot. It'll come back to me. It'll come back to me. But yeah, I just totally lost track of what I was going to. Oh, now I remember. Start a poll. Should I sell my first 100 Perl or hold it? Hodl it. Sell. Hodl. I know it's not your money, so I'm pretty sure I know people are going to say, but all right, starting poll. All right, let me get back to the. So I'll get to what Beak Peak says in a second, because I definitely have some opinions about that. I helped this pool get the one-click miner on Okta. Nice. Yeah, he's been very busy working on the pool. He's been fighting DDoS attack. I won't say who I think it is, but if you're familiar with the space, you probably would think who's got the motivation to do it. But Mage Man Bro, hey Max, I have a job from before Perl was a thing, and now I basically have an indefinite 0.215 by 2 workload. Am I just SOL? So, yes. Vast has put up an alert now when you reprice things and do things like, hey, you've entered into a contract with whoever rents your machine and they expect you to keep it up. So, bottom line is, I believe that with the way the market is right now, there's a lot of people that have been trying to get out of their low cost contracts and doing whatever they can to get out of those contracts. And now Vast is like, no, can't do that. You are in a contract. You need to uphold that contract. So is there anything you can do? There's things you can do. I mean, you can turn off your machine and hope the person leaves. You can go back through verification and just get a new machine ID and just start over. And I don't know how quickly you got verified the first time, but if you got verified quick, then hopefully you get verified quick again. But if Vast catches you doing that, and I don't know how they're handling it, honestly. I'm just saying that they are aware, and you risk being able to be a host if you do this. I don't think they're going to turn you off now when they need the supply, but when things start to slow down, they might start to, shall we say, trim the fat, I guess, at that point. And those people that did things right. So I can tell you that I don't have any that are that low. I have some 4090s that are like 24.5 cents. Oh, well, I've got 4 of them. The other 2 finally fell off actually a day or 2 ago, so they're now at a higher rate. And I know I have some on my 8 by 4090 rig, I think, that are low priced as well, but I don't know for sure. It's hard to tell when you have everybody kind of at a different rate, exactly who's at what rate. So yeah, I mean, I've still got I've got here. I mean, actually, I'm not going to pull up the screen, but I'll just go through it real quick. So I've got my 3 by 5090 rig. All those are at 30 cents. Got another one at 35, another one at 32, another one at 44. So that one was kind of in between land when it switched. I have 2 by 3090s that are at 25 cents. So not great. It's not horrible because they haven't gone up as much. They're probably somewhere between 15 and 20 cents now. So it's definitely higher on a percentage basis, but on an overall dollar basis, not as big of a hit. This one's at 32, and that's it. All the other ones have changed. So about half of my 5090s are still on old clients, and I'm not doing anything about it. I'm going to leave them. Because, after all this is said and done, if they're still there, they're still going to be rented. So I feel like it's a little bit of diversification. Yeah, great. You got some really high priced ones that are going to last for a while. But when this goes away, oh, that's interesting. At least you guys aren't seeing the flash. My light just went wonky. All right, hold on a second. I got to do something about this. So you're going to see me disappear for a little bit, because that's really annoying. All right. Let's try it this way. Hold on, guys. Sorry. Oh. Weird. Coming back. Do 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 do. Take it back. Do 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 do. All right. So we're gonna be lit from this side, and that's it. Oh well. Yeah. For some reason, it was plugged in, but it wasn't charging, and so now it's just dead. So, oh well. Um, it's flickering at 60 frames per second. All right. Don't remember where I was, but anyway. Bottom line is, I feel like it's a good diversification. Keeping some of the old clients on, don't kick them off. It's not their fault that everything went nuts, and they were supporting you back when things weren't as good as they are now, and so I'm just sticking with them. All right, let me go back to the chat. Oh, yeah, except here's the thing, Swamp 7. Where am I to go? You keep saying that, but I don't have a better option than Vast. I can't go to RunPod. I can't go to TensorDoc. I don't have anybody approaching me, although I did get an email today, so that might turn into something. We'll see. That's the first time I've gotten an email like that, so we'll see where that goes. So I have Salad and I have Vast. Those are pretty, man. Obviously, I've got Clore, Flux, Octaspace, QuickPod, but none of those pay out as well as Vast. So anyway, and the thing is, I want, especially in my situation where I can't afford, if I just turn off or make a new machine ID, I am definitely not going to get verified. And so it would be a negative for me in order to do that. So I don't know. I'm not thinking about it too much. I'm running it as it is. Yes, my up is 300 megabits per second, although when I run it, it comes up at like 340. But when the speed test runs on the rigs, like the last one on the 5090, the new 5090 downstairs was a 317. But when this guy ran behind me, it was a 293. So it's somewhere in that range. But I've got a lot of them on, well, all of them on the upload are in that range because they're all on at least on 1 gig. Some of them are on 2.5 gig connections. So like the one behind me has 1.5 down. So I'm hoping that will also help. Beak Peak says Flux has been a major flop, certainly from the supplier side, no question. But it's interesting because if you are keeping track of what they're building, I mean, they're just another hosting company at this point. I mean, who hasn't seen all the Hostinger? Is anybody else tired of all the Hostinger ads? I know I am. Every single time somebody is talking about Hermes or OpenClaw, I was going to say Lobster Claw, OpenClaw, they're all talking about, yeah, look, we have the one-click setup over at our hosting company. It's all about Hostinger. And I'm like, oh, can somebody please just say this is how you do it at home instead of leading with doing it on Hostinger? Drives me nuts. But again, I'm sure I'm not the only one that's a home labber, and probably a lot of their audience are people that don't have the hardware at home. So renting something for super cheap probably makes sense. And I'm sure Hostinger wouldn't be doing it unless they got a lot of users because of it. But still, it drives me nuts. Anyway, but going back to Flux, but I mean, they have been building and building and building and building. Check out their Discord. Look at all the things that they have built. Now, what are they doing to attract users? That I don't know. I think they're kind of just relying on people that are still engaged with the project to help drive demand. And I don't see a lot of that happening. I know that that's one of their strategies, but I haven't seen them do like the Hostinger thing of approaching different creators to say, hey, if you talk about our product on your, certainly if they went to, a Network Chuck or level one tech, level 3 tech. Anyway, any of those home lab guys, Haven, whatever, I can't think of his name. Anyway, any of these guys, if they went to them, they might seriously consider it. So anyway, I just think it's great that they're building, and they used to be really good at marketing. I just see them more focused on the build it side than the actual marketing side. And we used to say the opposite. Stop marketing all your stuff and actually build stuff that gets delivered. And now they're delivering. They really are. I did not see that Save Trade listed Pearl today. Interesting. Well, then maybe I will move all my stuff over to them so that I can more easily liquidate. And speaking of that, let's see. Ooh, 63%. They're looking out for my best interest by saying sell. Appreciate that. All right, Beak Peak, I need to go back to your questions because you have been patient. Hold on a second. I saw Beak Peak change colors. Is that my imagination? Because I have a different chat over here on Meld, but it just looks like it's on Meld, I guess. Yeah, it's just on Meld. Anyway, so let me go back to your so Beak Peak says salad is a damn joke, paying crap. I'll summarize it. Your opinion, salad is garbage. No, it is not my opinion. Do they pay? Yes. Do they pay less? Yes. Yes, they do. But if you have hardware and you're not going to learn to do the networking. You're not going to learn to figure out how you have to, first of all, get a an actual router that can do port forwarding ranges. Most of the ISP routers, back when I did it, did not work at all. And certainly if they did, it didn't work reliably. It was horrible. And then once you have your own router, then do you have the ability of figuring out how to either put it in bridge mode or IP pass-through, depending on who your provider is? And those are all challenges that a lot of people are just like, you know what, forget it, I'm not even going to do it. So now you have hardware that's literally just sitting there not doing anything when it could be on salad. And so the difference is make zero money because you don't want to put in the work to do Vast, or have it make something on salad. So I'm going to be doing a video on salad, be my next video. That's a big portion of what I'm going to be talking about. Is there's just people that don't want to put in the effort. It's a fact. And for those people, salad is great. The other thing is that if you have a machine that you use for multiple purposes, let's say you have a machine that you use exclusively for LLMs, which I'm going to be doing, and it's great that you can put salad on that machine because I'm not going to use it 24 hours a day. So when it's not, salad will run, and when I run LLM and it basically becomes active, salad will shut off, and when it's done, salad will come back on after a minute. So I think there are use cases where salad makes a ton of sense. Most people that have hardware that were just in mining, that don't understand all the intricacies, are not willing to put in the time to learn. They just aren't. Believe me, I get emails from people that are trying to learn, and those people are willing to put in the work, but I've gotten plenty of emails from people who aren't, who want to be spoon-fed, and it's just not going to work, because when you run into problems, you're going to be spending tons and tons of money to me to help you make it work, or you're just going to get frustrated and just be like, oh, forget it, this is just not working. Because Vast is not perfect. None of the platforms are perfect. They have bugs and things go wrong. And you have to be willing to work through those problems. Does salad go wrong? Yeah, but usually it's just a simple reboot and it's back up. So anyway, there is a place for each of these platforms. So that is my opinion. Take it or leave it. Yeah, Swamp 7. Yes, exactly what he just said. He did it a lot more concise than me. Salad is garbage, but why not run it on a random Windows PC? Because can stop whenever and not lose reliability. Exactly. My card only running at 35 cents, so don't want to do that. My card's only running at 35 cents. 35 cents isn't horrible and very profitable. So I'm not sure what you're saying there. Aragorn Strider, good to see you, sir. I'm catching up at 2.3x. Well, good. Well, make sure you really fast forward through the spot where I had to deal with the light. I have two machines, although by the time he hears that, he will already have gone past that. See, I'm not as dumb as I look. I know it's pretty hard. Beak Peak says I have two machines on sale. Oh yeah, you already said that. You said that. My date keeps moving. Should I just click on the extension in settings? So hold on a second. So Scott R, when you have set this up, if you set it up to be a constant period of time, then yeah, it's going to keep extending out that expiration date. That's the way I have a lot of mine running, but I've been turning that off just in case this thing lasts a long period of time. So in my opinion, I would turn that off right now. I will say one of the really good features that GPU Autopilot added was an alert at the top of the screen when one of your rigs is getting close to expiration. So that was a great add. All right. Wow, I'm way behind here. Hi, Max. If I start Vast with a 5070 and then upgrade to a 5090 later, do I need to re-verify or will it just pick it up? It will just pick it up, but here is the problem. If you're planning on doing that, you will not, when you change the GPU, it will not change what your client's paying. So if your client is paying, say, 18 cents for 5070, I haven't even looked to see what it's at. But let's say it's paying 18 cents for a 5070, and a 5090 is paying like 45 cents. It is not going to magically change. It's definitely not going to magically change. So keep that in mind. Big B. Yep, who cares? Vast makes money. Don't care about Flux. I mean, like I said, I have a soft spot for Flux. I like what they've built, like what they're doing. But, you know, I always go back to the same story. You guys have probably heard it before. Sidecar. Sidecar had the best technology. You're like, in who the hell Sidecar? What were they in? They were an Uber competitor along with Lyft. And Sidecar went out of business. Not because they didn't have the best technology, because they did, but because they had no marketing. They had no marketing budget. They didn't go out and get investors like Uber got tons and tons and tons of cash so that they could market the heck out of their product and push everybody else out of the market. That was what they were trying to do with Lyft. Lyft obviously got money as well. So yeah, they were not able to push them out, but they did push out Sidecar. All right. Rare Grunt Strider, an addiction, hobby that finally pays for itself. Yes. Mr. X 625, good to see you. Hey Max, what I miss is somehow communicating with my customers who renting my GPUs. Don't you agree? Sometimes it's necessary to reach out to them and ask what they need. Yes, I do agree with you. But that can be abused. And that is what Vast had found way back when, because people were trying to basically, they were trying to push Vast out of the equation so that you develop this relationship with the client. And then you just go to the client and say, hey, you're paying this extra amount. I could give you a little bit of a discount and win-win. Well, win-win-lose for Vast. So that is why Vast does not allow people to communicate directly with their clients. Max, this is Cool Kids 1-R7R. Max, does Vast keep checking the GPU continuously? Say if I use it temporarily for something when not in use, or will it hurt me if I do this, even if not rented or anything? Well, first of all, it doesn't hurt you, but what you want to do is if it's not being used, even if you have a, what's the word I'm looking for? If you have a stored client, as long as you stay online, you can unlist it. That stored client, when you unlist it, cannot go online and rent the GPU, as far as I understand. So you could unlist it, do whatever you want to do with it, then finish whatever you're doing with it and put it back online. But if you have a client on there, that's a different story. They're going to complain. And that's when you get a little alert saying, hey, this person is mad. And a lot of times you get an email from Vast saying what's going on. So yeah, I know some people who have underclocked their GPUs a lot, and they were getting messages from Vast because clients were complaining. Because clients can actually see the power rate. Max, did you? Oh, yeah. Gosh, I'm like way behind. I guess I kind of caught up as I was. But yes, I thank you for letting me know that, K-Shot. I wish Vast would average what my farm was making per hour, my whole farm, not just each machine. Well, if you look at GPU rental, it will tell you. It's a beautiful thing. Again, it's one of my suggestions that I made, and he implemented it this past week. Let me, in fact, right now I can see it's gone above. Let me bring this up here. And then let me switch. Let me just make sure. Okay. So I'm not having a guest today, which is what I kind of figured. So let's go to scene 2. Okay, so this is my GPU autopilot dashboard. But right up here, oh, you're not going to see that. Right up here, it tells you how much you are making per hour as a run rate. So what it does is it looks at each individual rig's actual earning rate. So let's say you have a rig that gets rented at, say, 50 cents. So 5090 gets rented at 50 cents. Just easy math. Well, if it wasn't rented before, hadn't been rented for a while, it's like 20 cents. So when it's not rented at all, it doesn't add it into active earnings for obvious reasons. It's not earning anything. But when it gets re-rented, it takes a while for that hourly average to come back up to what the actual earnings are. So what this active earnings does is it takes that rate. So when somebody comes just back on, and you're not fully like, he hasn't been on there for a long period of time, it's not going to show that full amount. So when you've been rented consistently, then that rate is going to be accurate. It's really, really hard, other than doing that, to get an accurate rate. Technically, and I was just thinking about this now, I don't know if Enable's still here, but technically, what we could do, or what Enable could do, is take the greater of the two. The problem is that this is the other problem. So single GPU rigs, that works great. You could take the greater of the two. What is it rented at? That we do have, on at least on average. Or does it? I don't know if there's anything we can do about that. Anyway, but that's a great feature. It gives you an idea. It also gives you, if you were fully rented at your listed rate, how much would you be making? And I'd be making, like, instead of making like 224, I'd be making like 300 a day, which would be unbelievable. So anyway, hopefully that answers your question. Sell it all. I'm assuming you're talking about the Pearl. I see one in blue and one in green. Oh, you're talking about Big Peak. I think Big. Oh, I see what you're saying. Big Peak. Yeah. So anyway, like I said, I have different colors in my chat because I'm in meld. I don't know why it did that, but whatever. Let's see. Okta, you can have Windows, no ports on Wi-Fi, and still get rented at 89 cents an hour with a, I'm assuming you mean, yeah, 5090 there. He corrected himself. Like, wow, you have a 6090? Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, actually, I forgot about that. That's a good point. That is a good point. Totally forgot about Octaspace having a Windows client. And I don't know if they also do that on Linux as well, but I would imagine if on Windows you don't need a port forward, then probably on Linux you wouldn't either. But I haven't used them in quite a while. But again, there is, I believe, not like when you get rented, you're expected to stay rented. You know, you've kind of entered into a contract with them. So, but I appreciate you mentioning that. Making a note of that, actually. Octaspace, no port forward. Obviously going to double check that because I wasn't aware of that, but I don't know why you would have said that if it wasn't true. So appreciate that. First time I get to see your stream, Michael Toberup, live. Let me clarify that. Live. Doing it live. It is 3:40 here in Europe, but the wife and kids are visiting family, and I'm living my best life, building, setting up miners and rigs. That's awesome. Yeah, I will say my wife actually went out to visit my sister out on the farm. And so she went out there to help out. My sister had surgery on her foot like late last year. So foot surgery sucks. So she's definitely moving around and everything, but was looking like, hey, I'm going to need some help. But then they ended up getting some neighbor kids to actually that they could pay to do some of the chores. And so now they're just hanging out and they're living their best life. So that's awesome. I'm so glad. I love my sister, love my brother as well. But I'm just saying, I love the fact that my sister and my wife, like two peas in a pod. Love that. People are lazy. You're not wrong, Squirrel Masters. And that's the other thing. Good point, Scott. If your internet sucks, Salad is fine. They don't care. There's also a lot lower requirements to get online with Salad as well. Again, there's a place for all of these. Mike Hill, thank you. I appreciate that. Celsius, sorry. I'm trying to see what that is referring to, Scott. I'm scrolling up. I'm not sure what you're referring to there, Scott. Let me know. I must have missed something. Or like $5 a day with no Pearl. Yeah, obviously a lot of it depends on what card. Nah, man. Flux screwed up. Like I said, if you haven't been keeping track of them, they are building and building and building, and I have not. I do actually want to try some of their stuff. I want to see how well it works. So I definitely want to try it. Oh, you know what? That was one thing I was going to mention tonight too. Okay. Let's see. I liked Flux when we could mine it. I know. Get into the whole Flux argument about, they said they were going to be mineable forever. It just didn't make any sense. And honestly, it doesn't make any sense that they're even a crypto project in my mind. They're a technology company. They pay money to people that are helping run the hardware. It's like a Vast, except they're paying in crypto. It's like an Octospace. I don't think that needs to be a crypto project either. So yeah, it is what it is. Mikkel Toberup, your one-click install was very helpful for me. I was having problems with my port forwarding, so I just bought a new router and plan to run my Vast servers on their separate WAN. Any advice? Which router did you get? That would be the question. I can talk forever about Unify and Ubiquity because it's like, to me, it's like really easy because I know what to do. TP-Link, maybe if you know it, I suppose, but I helped another content creator with their TP-Link, and it was very unenjoyable. Very unenjoyable. It was very frustrating. There were certain things on Ubiquity that are nice to haves that I've just grown accustomed to, as far as segmenting your network and making sure that this port can only talk to this VLAN and no other VLANs. I don't need to make separate rules. The rules just happen because of things you can toggle. So yeah. Northern Crypto and Tech. I still have my Flux nodes running, but not worth the squeeze right now. Honestly, again, if you don't think Flux is going to go down much, it's a great investment. It's like 30% on like a Nimbus node. I actually am going to upgrade. I have two Nimbus nodes currently running, and they've been accumulating. So I have more. I have two Nimbus nodes. I had been accumulating, so I did two Cumulus nodes as well. I hate Cumulus nodes. I will tell you, they're a pain in the ass. They don't run very well. They never have, in my opinion. They're running better now than they have in the past. But to me, I've always had problems with Cumulus nodes. And when it takes much longer to get to your payout, it's like I was like a couple hours away and my Cumulus nodes went down. So it can be very frustrating on a Cumulus node. So I'm actually going to buy a little bit of extra. I've got a lot of parallel assets to claim. Plus I just need a little bit more in order to run a Nimbus node. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to take my NUC and I did an exchange with another content creator. I have gotten rid of everything that those 2 bundles that I bought in order to lower my cost on the RAM for this bad boy behind me, basically bringing down the cost. Here, let me go back to the first screen. Bringing down the cost of the RAM of, I should say, 64 gigs, 232 gig sticks was under $500 is what it will end up being. If I just sell my motherboards for 100, which I could, I've gotten multiple offers for 100. I want to sell them for more than 100. So I'm just going to end up just giving up and being like, hey guys, you said you want it for this 100. You want it for 100, you can have it for 100. But anyway, I did one CPU and I did a swap. So I got 2 for a 9800 X3D. I got 2 1200 watt gold Seasonic power supplies and RAM, some laptop RAM. So this is 2 16 gig sticks. I can stick this in my NUC and it'll bring it up to what I need it to be in order to run a Nimbus node. So that's another project I'm going to be doing in the next week. So Clore also no port forward. Sorry, I just happened to see that at the bottom of the screen. Interesting. Good to know. Good to know. And Clore. Got it. Let's see. Again, thank you for glad you found the one-click install helpful. I was actually trying to improve it, and that did not go well. I had one person test it. It did not go well. So I'm leaving it the way it is because it works really well the way it is. I was trying to get it to the point where at each phase, it would just keep going. But here's the thing. Everybody that I know that's been running these, and maybe this is not the case, but everybody that's been running it has been SSH or using, I'm drawing a blank on what the application is because I don't use it. But anyway, SSHing into and then running the command. And so you have to relog in each time to see what's going on. So if it was rebooting and restarting the script after each one, you wouldn't be able to see what was going on after each reboot unless you were on the actual machine. So I'm going to leave it the way it is. I like the way it is now. So Northern Crypto and Tech, I sold it all. Hopefully you sold it all when it was like near $1. That would be good. I will tell you, second TL, when it was near $1, was like, you gonna take some profits? And I'm like, nah, I'll be fine. Yeah, well, hindsight's 2020. What are you gonna do? Mr. X's, Max, how can I get access to this dashboard you showed? And is it possible to make a list of websites you using related to your Vast hosts to monitoring? Well, I can put it in the chat. GPUautopilot.com. It's a person in the community that has built this, and it has made my life so much easier. So much easier. Jackson Digital is here. I didn't even see him check in. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Why do I not see him? Oh, because somebody deleted his message. Hang on, let me just make sure there's not something. Unless the customer requests it. Huh. He's talking about Octaspace. So it sounds like they may need a port forward. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I'm not sure why that was deleted. But anyway, good to see you, Jackson Digital. I appreciate it. Sorry, I would just put that back up, but I can't. Let's see. It is interesting though that I could see it. A lot of times when they get deleted, it's sometimes you can't see it. But let's see. Jay Styles, Octaspace doesn't require port forwarding, but some app rental types need it to work and will pay more. Also needed if you are giving direct VM access, which also pays more. Yeah, I know QuickPod does that as well. And so does Vast for that matter. Thoughts on mining Pearl directly right now, or have it on Vast where people are mining with it, maxing out the card anyway. I am doing the latter, and then if it's not rented, I'm using a background job to run that. So thank you to Swamp 7 for that. Thoughts? Oh, you already did that. Squirrel Master Flux. 1.21 gigawatts. I'm thinking I should have just run a Cumulus node. I have 1500 flux. I mean, you could, definitely could. Like I said, they can be a little finicky. Yes, there's a place for everything. Vast belongs on my PC, while Salad belongs on a Radio Shack dandy and thrown in the dumpster. Everybody's allowed their opinion. No need for port forward, just NAT 1-to-1. Yes, if yeah, what you're talking about is that each rig would have its own public IP, right? Yeah, who can afford that? So Mike got a TP Link ER605. Just take your time, learn it. Yeah. And of course, I knew that was coming. Swamp 7, Unify sucks. Can't even block ICMP traffic. Not so sure about that. EVGA greater than Seasonic starts brand holy war. Okay, do you know who makes EVGA? Because EVGA doesn't make EVGA. Superflower. And I will agree, Superflower and Seasonic make the best power supplies. I have a bunch of Superflowers and I have a bunch of Seasonic. And then I have a bunch that are other brands that are made by either Superflower or Seasonic, including EVGA, including Be Quiet, including Asus. So yeah, I try to make sure. I try to stay away as much as possible from thermal take. Yes, you can. Just gotta know how to. You know, actually, there is a way that I learned something. There is a website. It's a service, but there's a way. It's kind of like. Oh, wait a minute. Could you use Tailscale to do that? Because then it would each rig would like have its own external IP address. Could you use Tailscale for that? Not that I'm gonna, but could you? I mean, I have Tailscale running, but I wasn't gonna run it for that. Anyway, it was recommended to me for easy setup menu. Sounds like I should have gone with Ubiquity. I mean, that's just my opinion. If you don't know either one, it takes a while to learn either one. Like I said, I just know that they are not the same. Definitely not the same. Stop using 22.0 for its end of life. Yeah, as soon as Vast says to stop using 2204. Right now, that's still what they recommend. So yeah, I wish I could stop using 2204 as well. It's a pain in the ass, especially. So I had somebody contact me today, and I had been through this problem. There are like the 5 gig and 10 gig Realtek chipsets that are on new motherboards, including and especially this one has a 5 gig Realtek. So when you put on 2204 on that, it doesn't have the drivers. So I developed a script. Actually gave it to this guy. I want to see if he can get it to work because he's not really techie. But I had not fully developed the script. I had done enough of it for myself to make it easy for me to do, but I didn't like develop the documentation, and it was still a little kind of kludgy. But I fine-tuned it today, so I'm trying to see if it works for him. But yeah, I wish I could go to 2404. Right. Oh, I see. He was talking about blocking ICMP traffic. Yeah, I said GPU autopilot. Wow, I'm probably way behind here. Oh, not too bad. Jeff Key left Flux. Yes, he did. I'm not sure why either. I asked him. He did not tell me. Is all I can say. Literally did not tell me. It's not like he told me not to say anything. No, he did not tell me. But after that, I lost my interest. Oh, after that, you lost your interest in Flux. I understand. Okay, I'm gonna let them talk networking between the two of them. Good evening, John Germain. Good to see you, sir. Good to see you. We got 49 people here tonight. Anybody can tell me how many likes I have? I don't see it. So let me see who else. Mage Man Bro. I was unplugging things out of my PDU and I accidentally unplugged my dual 4090 that had a job, and I immediately got it back up and didn't receive an email nor a complaint, and renter stayed. Yeah, I mean, first of all, if it's a mining job, they're not going to care because they're never going to notice it. So yeah, you won't get complaints. Bottom line is stuff happens. It does. And that is going to occasionally happen. So yeah, I mean, Vast understands that. And you got it back up immediately after. So no, you're not going to get a complaint. Yeah, 99.4 down to 99.7 or down to 97. Yeah. And now I'm back up. So if you have one reboot, yes, it will come back really quick. The more reboots you have, especially if you have something that's in a boot loop, oh my God. I already did the video about the one that I had in a boot loop because I had a bad power supply. Yeah, that's brutal. I got down to 45%, and the creep up to 60 is horrible. And once you get past 60, then it starts going faster. But yeah. Max, WAN side ping is blocked by default. Okay. Again, I'm not a networking expert. I have 24 on all my Vast systems. 24 what? Not sure what you mean by that. Oh, I see. 24.04. Did you have to do anything special, 306 Miner? Because I've seen different views on 24.04. Yes, please spank that like button. I would appreciate it. Definitely would appreciate it. Now up to 22. Okay, well, I've got 50 people here now, so getting better. Maybe we can get it up to like 35. That would be nice. I don't think Aragorn, I don't think Swamp 7 uses Unify, so pretty sure he does not use that at all. And again, appreciate everybody talking about hitting the like button. Appreciate that. All right. Well, I spent a lot of time going over the chat. Appreciate the lively chat. Always makes things more interesting and a lot more fun. Mr. Tiger is asking, do AI renters notice bandwidth problems with GPUs on older PCIe lanes like 4090 on PCIe 3.0 servers? So I did some research on this recently, and I'm looking at performance for a 5090. Okay. This is not for a 4090, and you're asking about a 4090. But on a 5090, you don't lose anything by going down to 8 lanes on it from a single GPU on a game. Okay. And also in inference. Like I said, I saw a number of articles that said 5090 on X8 lanes on PCIe 5 is still good. You're not going to lose any substantial performance. I mean, maybe a 0.1% type of thing. Now you go down to, and again, PCIe 4 X16 is the same thing as PCIe 5 X8. So when you go down to PCIe 4 X8, then you lose about 10%. Okay. Now remember, PCIe 4 X8 is the same thing as PCIe 5 X16. So if you're talking about a 4090 on a PCIe 3 server on X16, you're probably only be losing about 10%. Again, for a single GPU. Now, if you have somebody that is using multiple GPUs and they're doing I don't know what, but basically where they need to communicate between the GPUs, that's a totally different story. That means there's a lot more communication going on between each GPU. So that is, I'm not an expert, but it's what I've read. And I did a bunch of reading on that like about 5 or 6 days ago, because I was curious about it. Yeah. Swamp 7. I threw all my old Unify stuff in the dumpster. I doubt he threw it all in a dumpster, but he's smarter than that. I'm sure he sold it. It is supported by the install script. Okay, good to know. Well, maybe I need to update my install script so that it does it with 24.04. Okay, cool. So, Max, I need to travel for 2 weeks and can't let my machines running. Do you know if they get unverified or deleted from Vast when I'm back? Does it help if I put them on maintenance in this period? Certainly, if you're saying you absolutely cannot leave them running, then yeah, you definitely would want to put on a long maintenance period. Give as much notice as you can. But would you lose verification? I don't think so, but I don't know how long it takes. I know you'll get removed from your own, like when something goes offline, after about 48 hours, I think, it gets removed from your dashboard. Doesn't mean that it's forgotten about it. After a period of time, and I don't know what the period of time is, yes, they will remove old machines and old verifications from the system, but I don't know what that period of time is. But I do know that they had announced before on Discord when they were doing a massive cleanup on that. Yeah, wish I had the internet for Vast. I mean, I'm marginal, but getting by. Still have not heard back from. I heard back that the ticket's open and that I should be hearing back from Comcast, but I've not heard back anything additional from Comcast. Why not set up remote? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Why not set up remote access and keep running? They can de-verify or ban you for not fulfilling contracts. Yes, it's always a possibility. I have not heard of that happening to people if you do a maintenance window, because you're obviously not manipulating things by just like literally saying, I need a 2-week maintenance window for whatever reason. You're not trying to manipulate it by saying, I'm not going to make money for 2 weeks. So I wonder if Vast wants a 2070 Super on 32 gigabytes. I don't know. Best thing to do is do a search on 2070s on Vast and look to see what the general spec is of what people are using it for, or what people are putting it online for. Can't manage the heat and other things related when I connect remotely. You can, Mr. X. I mean, I don't know where your stuff is located and how you have the heat controlled. But again, you can get yourself in trouble with this. But if toning things down by 10-15% on the power, you could certainly try that, and that way things stay up and running. That's a little dangerous, but I'm not sure which would be worse. Completely turning off or trying to control your heat through controlling your GPU power. So I don't know. All right, now I'm finally caught up on chat. So one thing I did do, I mentioned this earlier, but I bought. Oh wow, that shine is bad. I bought a MSI Shadow 2X 5070 that I'm going to be putting in my daily driver, and taking that 4070 Ti out and putting it in the salad rig in the basement. It's been making 14.4 cents. So this is the other thing. People are like, salad's crap, whatever. You have to look at how much different GPUs are paying. Some of them are, you're like, wow, it's paying that much on that GPU? Let me see how much it's paying on, wow, it's paying the same amount on salad as it is on Vast. and way easier to do. So yes, 4090s, 5090s, what most people are kind of talking about. Yes, you're going to make more money on Vast, no question. 5080s as well, I believe. But there are definitely certain GPUs that make more money on Salad than they do on Vast. So just saying. Now, I haven't looked at a 4070 Ti in like the last week, but prior to that, 4070 Ti was actually making more on Salad than it was on Vast. So anyway, so I'm going to be doing that. I looked at it and it was like, literally, if I stay rented on Salad, which obviously is a big question, never know, because we've seen big periods of time where Salad has, too much supply and not enough demand. We've seen that. We don't see it right now, but so we have to see how long all of this lasts. But anyway, if I stayed rented like 80% of the time, pay itself off in like 6 or 7 months. So I figured that was and the other things, when we talk about payback, this thing isn't going to lose value. In fact, the day I picked it up, it had already appreciated by $20. I bought it for $560 and it had already gone up to $580. So yeah. So speaking of GPUs, I don't know if you guys saw my short the other day, but the RTX Pro series, in fact, I'm going to re-look it up just to make sure nothing's changed. But I was looking at it yesterday, and all of the RTX Pro series, except for the Pro 6000 workstation, which is really like a 5090, it's kind of a consumer GPU. But all of the Pro series, the short blower style cards, were gone from Micro Center. They were not selling them. The sale pages were gone. They were replaced by support pages. So let me just make sure and see if that was a one-day glitch or see if it is still the same. So RTX Pro 5000. And it doesn't... Look at that. It's back. It was a one-day glitch. And the price is back down. Although... where I have it, hang on a second. I have it on Miami. I was like looking at all different stores to like see if I could find if every single store was the same way. So it appears like it was a one-day glitch. So yeah, the one in Westmont, they still have one in stock for $4,700. That's not bad. That is not bad at all. Not bad at all. In fact, I bought mine for $5,100 and I did 2 price protection rebates. So got it. I actually still got it at $4,700. Now that makes me think. Now that it's back. Dang it. Okay. Well, it's back. It's back. All right, let me check back on the chat. Yeah, I mean, one of the reasons why I got this, I figure, is a little bit upgraded NVENC encoder for live streaming. So I thought, it's pretty good. Let's see. Aircraft Strider, no AC. Not sure what you mean by manage heat. Well, I have so much heat. There's no way I'm going to manage mine through AC. Mine is through lots of airflow. Lots of airflow. Oh, Mr. 60. So if your contracts expire before you travel, you have no worries. Let them expire, unlist them, and you're good. So if that's what you want to do, then yeah, you've got no issues. They should not unverify when you're gone for 2 weeks. I wouldn't think so. You can certainly ask, go into the Vast chat. You're not going to get an answer. I don't think you get an answer through the Discord. Just because I don't think anybody knows for sure. But you know what? It's kind of a shot in the dark because guess what? The tier 1 support on Vast also makes incorrect answers. Give a perfect example. Today, I decided, you know what? I'm going to increase my, and I was doing it through GPU Autopilot. So I was trying to increase my price for storage to $1 per gigabyte per month. And I was getting failures. I'm like, what is going on? So of course I message out to Enable, like, what is going on with your software? Anyway, it's a little bit nicer about that. Only a little. So then I'm like, well, geez, I'm just going to do this on the site. I'm going to turn it off here. I'm going to go do this on the site. And guess what? I got an error. It said, and what was really confusing about it was it gave it in the end user pricing terms, not the host terms. So it said I was trying to, because I was trying to do $1, it said I was trying to raise the storage price to $1.33 when it's only allowed to a maximum of $1, which really meant I could only set it at 0.75. Now, somebody went into, and I believe it was Enable who actually went into the chat and asked about it, and they said, no, there's no limit on that. No, there is a limit on that. That's new, but yeah, 0.75 per gigabyte per month is the new limit for storage. So just know that. Anyway, so my point is that tier 1 support doesn't always give the right answer. Not always, unfortunately. All right, let's see. Yes, no AC. Working on it at the moment. I put in a heat pump. That's what I did. Not a 5070 Ti. A 5070 Ti is a minimum of $1,000 now. Minimum of $1,000. That's kind of ridiculous compared to this, which is like practically half price. 560 versus 1,000. No thanks. 5070 is 16 PCIe lanes. It's the 5060 Ti that goes to 8. So yes, 5070 Ti definitely. Max, I have a possibility to make a 4x5080 rig on Vast or separate them out. What do you think is better? If you can make a 4x5080 rig, definitely. Well, think about it this way. You have the hardware to do 45080s is generally going to be less. Well, not always, but in general will be less. You're still probably going to list them one at a time, but it's certainly easier to manage one rig versus managing 4. So yeah, it depends. You need to price it out and see which is going to be better, because obviously consolidate power supplies, depending, I don't know what your setup is going to look like, but in general, I would say, yeah, doing more per rig is beneficial as long as the price isn't significantly more, per GPU. Mr. X625, can I limit the power of my GPUs more than the minimum power they require somehow? I mean, like the 5090 requires 400 watts, but I wish to limit its power to 300 watts. Okay, well, 5090 TDP is 575 watts. So if you limited it to 400 watts, they're going to notice. Probably reduce performance probably by about 15% would be my guess. You lower it from 575 down to like 525 or 500. It's pretty minimal. See, you can actually experiment with this. I mean, you don't want to do it for very long because you don't want them to notice. But what you can do is actually use NVIDIA-SMI space-PL and what you want to change the power to. And before you do that, an NV top, look to see what the clock's the frequency is of the GPU. Then when you change the power, look to see what the frequency changes to. And again, it does depend on what job is running. I mean, some jobs don't run full TDP anyway. So you could minimize, lowering the power isn't going to really change anything except for new clients coming on. So Vast has only one sharp support person. I'm sure his name is Bach. He knows everything and he can do magic. Good to know. Good to know. There's another guy, I can't think of his name, but he's really good, but he's been around for a really long time. I bought it $8.99 open box tough OC Micro Center last year in May. You're talking about a 5070 Ti. 5070 Ti is not a bad GPU. I'm just saying price to performance. I mean, it has 16 gig of RAM instead of 12. And certainly 16 gig is going to be better for AI, no question. But yeah. I'm sorry if this isn't allowed. Are you open to buying RAM, GPUs, or motherboard CPU combos? Am I personally? It would have to be crazy deals, honestly. But you can certainly message me over on Discord. Deal perf will drop with PL. Correct, except they can't, and you know this better than I do, Enable, so correct me if I'm wrong, but they can't really test DL-perf when there's a client on there. Obviously, it'll drop it for the current client, but to everybody else that's looking at it, they're still going to see the old DL-perf score, I think. So yeah, when you auto sort the rig, I know if I'm renting, I would be looking at DL-perf per dollar when I'm sorting to see who I want to rent. And if you lower the power, you're going to lower yourself when compared. Miners don't care, Max. They are just happy to have power out of my GPU, so I'm in a war with them at the moment. Hey, miner versus miners. I'm not a fan of Travis. Are you talking about Uber? Which Travis are we talking about here? Anyway. Alrighty. And I do not have like gaming with Smokey Dan, keeping me honest. I don't even know how many times I said that word. I will not say it out loud, but again, I'm sure I said it out loud plenty of times. They only bench GPUs when not rented. That's what I thought. So Vast isn't going to notice until you come offline or until a client complains. So yeah, if you know you have a miner, yeah, they're not generally going to care because guess what? It isn't really going to affect their hash rate much. So they're not really going to care so much. All right, well, I'm going to end that poll. So 2/3 of you said, sell it, sell it. And now I got to go back and find my Safe Trade account because I did have one at one point. So see if I can remember how to log into that. All right, let me see if there was anything else. I talked about that. I mean, we talked about salads, so I'm not really going to go into that. But yeah, utilization is off the chart right now. So yes, you pretty much put any GPU on there and it's going to get rented. I talked about that. And I actually talked about everything. Oh, one other thing. I did write this down. I was going to mention this. So one of the other things I found out this week was Bluehost said, hey, reminder, we're going to renew your website. And I responded with, auto renew off. No, you're not. Not for $300 a year. No, thank you. So then I went into Claude and said, hey, with the new website you helped me develop, what would you suggest? And they suggested Cloudflare. I don't know if anybody has any experience with them, but it's free. They're like, these are all the limits. You're not going to get anywhere near those limits. So yes, you can do that. And we can change a few things around, which are going to be better for you. So yeah, you can do that. And you can also move your domain to them. It'll be like $50 because I have a .tech, which is expensive. But it'll certainly be less than the $65 to $70 they were going to charge me for it. So yeah, so basically doing a little bit of searching, be $50 for renewal for a year as opposed to like $300. So yeah, saves quite a bit of money. So I'll be doing that over the next month. And yeah, I'm only a month away from going back to work. Yeah. I'm kind of enjoying the time off. I'm not going to lie. Not going to lie. I do miss the people that I work with, but so yeah. All right. It has been Cloudflare is awesome, says Swamp7. Well, I appreciate that. I was kind of hoping somebody would chime in that I trust. I do trust Swamp7. Don't always agree with him, but I do trust him. So if he says it's awesome, that's 2 thumbs up. 3070 is making a ton on Pearl. Nice. Very nice. Yeah, like so I'm gonna be putting mostly 3060s. Those are like 40, 45 in the range terahash. I think 3060 Ti's, I will have one of those to put on there. I think they make like 65, something like that. But yeah. Is Coinly or CoinLedger better? I have not used CoinLedger. I've used Coinly. I do believe have a referral link in the description of this. unless I removed it at some point. I don't think I would have done that, but yeah, it's down there. But yeah, I've used Coinly for years. It's been good. I still need to do my taxes. Yeah, stupid Siemens and their inability to apply for a QMID. So it's giving a lot of people problems with claiming tax credits. So I think I know what I'm going to do. And if they come back being like, what do you expect me to do? It's a tax credit. It's a tax credit. And it's not defined very well as to how to claim it. So it's your guys' fault. So we'll see. Let's see. Still waiting for an answer from Beak Peak if he was talking about Travis from Uber. I'm curious if that's the right person. All right, that was the end of that. All right, I'll be on for about another 5 minutes unless I get another like total rash of new questions. But I appreciate you guys all being here. I think we peaked. Wow, we peaked out at 58 people here at one point. Wow, that's a new recent high. Again, appreciate everybody for being here. Hope you guys enjoyed it. All right, so we got J Styles, FYI, taking really long time to move any Pearl to Safe Trade. Tried from 2 wallets so far, used Fast Send 2, about 80 minutes so far, and still waiting on both. Interesting. Well, thank you, J Styles. I think that tells me I'm going to want to move a little bit to start and see what happens and not move a lot. I mean, the other thing I could do is just use the Pearl OTC market because they have an OTC market as well. We need one of your international travel stories. Easy, another 1 hour. Okay. I don't know if I've told this one. So I've been to South America a few times. Actually, I'll tell two international stories. Like I said, I'm not sure if I told either of these stories before, but went to Sao Paulo to finish up a bid for. This was back when I worked for Motorola and was in their two-way communication, trunk systems, public safety systems type of thing. And we were competing against GE because they were like major competitor. But a little bit of backstory, in case you didn't know, if you're not familiar with the way they do business in South America, a lot of backdoor, back alley deals going on. People padding other people's wallets before the bid even goes out for bid. The RFP even goes out for bid. So basically, they set it up that the one company they define the entire bid. And of course they know their competitor and they know what they can't do. So because of that, and also the rules behind the bid are that if you say you can't comply with anything, you are immediately disqualified. So the trick of it is, and you say you comply, and then you clarify how you comply. So there's definitely some creativity. So anyway, so we were preparing that bid when we got notice from back in the States. We're not doing this. We're not doing this at all because we were doing it through a distributor. We're not doing this. You're done. Go home. Get ready to fly back tomorrow. Okay. So it was, I don't know, 7:30, 8 o'clock, something like that. We're like, we're not going home. This is dumb. We're in freaking Sao Paulo. We're going to go out, have a good time, have a few beers. So we went out. And by the way, I've told my wife this story. So anyway, so we went out. It was 4 of us. And, 3 of us. Yeah, it was only 3 of us. Tom Driscoll. And I don't remember the guy from Argentina that was with us. But anyway, those were the 3 of us. Tom Driscoll was very outgoing. Very outgoing. A few years older than me. Probably about 15 years older than me, maybe 10. But definitely, I was in my mid 20s at the time. Actually, late 20s at the time. And so anyway, so we went out. I'm not a big party type of guy. So anyway, he's like, I bet you guys I can pick somebody out and ask them to go on the dance floor. We're like, yeah, good luck with that. You don't speak Portuguese. So he's like, you watch this. So he looks out across people that aren't dancing, women that aren't dancing, and walks up to one, asks her to dance, and she starts dancing with her. And so then she had two other women with her. So she had her. So this guy's dancing with three women. And then he's like, come on out, guys. So anyway, so we were dancing, having a good time. And then we just kind of sat down and started talking. And so it ended up the woman that he asked was a person that was born in Brazil, grew up in the States, and then moved back to Brazil and taught executives how to speak English. So that was her job there. Anyway, so he obviously asked the right person because she spoke English. So anyway, it ended up, we kind of all paired up talking to one of the women, and I ended up talking to her most of the night. And we just had a great time. Conversation just flowed really, really well. And so anyway, so I gave her my business card. I didn't really think about it at the time, but the reason why I gave her my business card was because I wrote on the back, I said, hey, he's from Argentina. He doesn't know anybody. Hey, see, if you guys can like invite him out when you're going out with a group or whatever. He obviously is a great guy. He talked to that girl for a long period of time, whatever. So I wrote all his information on the back of my business card. So again, I didn't think anything of it. And as we left, and oh, by the way, we had to leave because we got a phone call. Again, we worked for Motorola, so we did have a cell phone. We got a phone call that said, you guys need to get back here. We're finishing the bid. We're 3 sheets to the wind. So anyway, we ended up having to finish the bid. None of us were drunk, but we were buzzed. We had a good time. Anyway, so as we left, they're all like, she's going to call you when she comes to the States. I'm like, no, she's not. It's like, why did you give her a business card? I said, I didn't even think about it. It was one piece of paper that I had to write his information down on it. And she never did contact me. But yeah, they all thought like she was totally into me and was like, yeah, she's going to contact me when she comes to the States. Never did. But anyway, that was one story. And then, by the way, the one thing about going to South America is if you have brown hair and blue eyes, they don't see it very often. So I don't consider myself like a super attractive guy. I don't consider myself an ugly guy, but I don't consider myself a super attractive guy. But down there, yeah, I was exotic. So when I went to Colombia, yeah, there was we went out to dinner. Again, Tom Driscoll was on that trip too. It was a few other guys that weren't on the first trip. Anyway, there was another table that was having a guy that was harassing them. So the women basically were like inviting us over, like, come on over. We need to get rid of this guy. We're like, okay, fine. So we move over and we just start having a nice chat or whatever. And we got rid of the guy. But then there was one woman that was like uncomfortably infatuated with me. Let's just put it that way. And that was very, very strange. I've never experienced that in my life. But anyway, that was pretty much the extent of that story. The other women that were with her were like, you need to calm down and you need to shut up. You're embarrassing us. And she finally calmed down, but it was just very, very strange. Very strange. Anyway, yes, I am old. This was, God, when was that? That was 95, which means I was 27 at the time. So yes, that was 21 years ago. So I'm 58. So it was not 1947. I don't know how many flights were actually between the States and South America at that point. Anyway. All right, let me go by some of these. All All right, so there's that. All right. I did 20 each. Oh, did 20 each just to test trading this safe trade. Got it. Lord of Pearls, yes, is supposed to be getting a market as well. But as far as I know, they have not gotten their market. Do you know, Squirrel Masters, if they actually have their market up? So I'm on as a sole proprietor. I'm not a tax guy. You'd have to talk to a tax professional about that. LLC supposedly for liability separation is always a good thing. I still am a sole proprietor. I've not gotten around to doing an LLC yet. Just saying there were no max sound glitches today, and we got an all-time high for live viewers. Just saying. LOL. Thanks, Jay Styles. Yeah, Aragorn Strider. I don't think you're a super young guy either, so watch yourself, man. Just watch yourself. Dirty blonde and hazel blue variant. I wouldn't call myself dirty blonde. It's pretty brown, and obviously because I have gray hair, it's a little bit lighter than it used to be. But different zip codes for sure. There were tons of smuggling flights back then. Probably. I see sales happening on there. Oh, on Save Trade? Gosh. K3 Maz, you're young. Got it. Yes. I'm sure you would probably, yeah. They would find you attractive as well. Just like I said, it's just an exotic type of thing, I guess, to them. Like, I couldn't explain it, but I had to ask somebody, and they're like, well, it's your brown hair and blue eyes. Okay. Alrighty. Couple years behind me, Aragorn Strider. By more than 15 years. Oh, okay. Yeah, you are significantly behind me. Either have you turned 40 yet, Aragorn Strider? Everybody's like, oh my God, turning 40. I'm like, no. 60. That'll be it. 50 didn't really bother me either. Is a 5070 or 5060 Ti gigabyte for a side machine to mine the clam? Oh, Pearl, got it. It's an oyster. It is not a clam. It's an oyster. I don't know actually. Let me, no, I don't even know because I haven't seen those hash rates up. I'm guessing 5070 would definitely be better. Just because it has more cores, but I don't know. Max is like a fine wine. If only that were true. 33 soon. Oh, you're turning 33 soon. Got it. Goes fast for sure. Oh, yes, it does. Oh, yes, it does. Once you have kids, man, that time just flies. Enjoy your kids while you can. I mean, I still enjoy my kids. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that I used to tell my daughter, okay, you're turning 12, but you said you would not turn 12. You said you were going to stay 11 for the rest of your life. She's like, oh, Dad. But yeah, my kids were good. When grandpa was at max voltage down there. Okay, so first of all, I don't know if I'll ever be a grandpa. My kids do not have boyfriend or girlfriend at this point, which is perfectly fine. I just want them to be happy. Plus, if you've noticed, there's a lot less people having kids. And talk to my kids, they're like, why would I want to bring a kid into this world? So yeah, there's definitely a lot of that, especially with my son's a millennial, but my daughter's a Gen Z. And yeah, Gen Z, they're not having kids. They're definitely not having kids. At least not anywhere near the amount. Sounds like earnings will tank soon. Yeah. Although Safe Trade's not like this huge exchange or anything. So yes, and we can definitely talk about that, K3 Baz. It goes faster as you get older. Yes. It is exponentially faster the older you get. So let's say you're going to live to 80. When you're at 40, you're not really halfway through life. You're further. The reason why is because your concept of time is only the amount of time that you've been alive. So that 1 year when you were 10 was 10% of your life. 10% of your life. When you are 50, that 1 year is only 2% of your life. So it's that year goes 5 times faster in your world. Think about that. So yes, I try to enjoy every single day knowing that. When the clam dies down, that sounds like a song. Will the GPU craze suddenly go away? That will be interesting. I certainly think there will be a significant dip in the market. But the question is how much demand is still growing for AI in general? Where's Waldo Cryptor? I have 7 grandkids. It's amazing. Yes, I've heard having grandkids is absolutely amazing because you get to enjoy the kids and then you can send them home with your kids. So you get to enjoy the good parts and you don't have to deal with except if you're babysitting and things like that, you would do occasionally, I'm sure. But even so, the kids usually are so excited about the grandkids are usually so excited about seeing their grandparents that they behave better. They're not so comfortable around them. So yeah. Where's Waldo? Yeah, 100%. Alrighty, guys. I am gonna call it a night. Appreciate you guys all being here. And as always, no tabs were harmed in the making of this live stream. Have a good one, everybody.